A very good welcome to everyone who just joined this call, colleagues, students, and everyone. I welcome you all, and it's so exciting to see you. And it shows that you are ready and you are preparing for your online examinations. And we know very well, we acknowledge that the online examinations can be both exciting and challenging, but Adov is here. We are here for you, and we want to remind you that you've done well so far from when you had registered your studies. You've been struggling with submissions of assignments. Some of the assignments you did well on them, while some you didn't do well, but this is your chance. This is your chance to improve and tell yourself you're going to make it. And what you need from now on is the discipline, is the focus, is the support of your family, your friends, and everyone, so that you can make it. Stay calm, stay confident, because stress is natural. However, we need to manage it. Fortunately, in this call today, we have people who are also going to assist us so that our stress levels are down and we are calm as we will be taking our online exam. Without wasting any of the time, because our program is very, very much loaded, I'm going to give over to our first speaker, who is going to, David, can you maybe scroll the program a little bit? I thought I opened it on my side. It is taking time to open. My job was to welcome you, and I know I didn't tell you what my name is. My name is Sheila Mphahlele, and I just opened my camera so that when you hear this voice, which I don't know how it goes into your ears, and then you are able to relate it with the picture of myself. It's not AI here, it's me, but the background behind me is not my house. I wish I had such a beautiful house. Without wasting again your time, colleagues, I'm going to call upon a colleague who is going to help you with accessing the open myExam support site. Firstly, you need to know where are you going to access your question paper and where are you going to submit it. Most importantly, as you'll be learning that now, you need to know that time is crucial. My colleague, over to you.
Thank you, Sheila. I hope my screen is visible. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard Wright. I'm from the Academic Development Open Virtual Hub, and I will be taking you through quite a few of the sessions today. Now, firstly, please complete the pre-course assessment. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now with your phone. Alternatively, we did put the link in the chat as well. So this just really helps us to get the understanding what is your knowledge when you start with this workshop. And at the end, we will do a post-course assessment as well to determine if you gained the necessary knowledge. Now, I also just want to tempt you a bit to stay towards right through to the end of the session. At the end, we will have a quiz. We've got free prizes to give away today. So the quiz is all about what is covered within this session. So please, I'm going to say stay vigilant, hear what we are saying, take it in, take notes, so you can complete the quiz at the end. And we will take the first three highest scores that we receive. Let's see, there's a question. Can we see the link again? I'll post the link in the chat as well so that you can easily access it and complete it during the session. So firstly, we want you to be able to access the online exam resources. Now, this is done on the ADOVH platform. We did put a link on here as well. I'll put the direct link in the chat. So it's very important that you do access these resources. So let me just copy the link for you. So the link is in the chat. You can also scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, but I'll also show you exactly how to access it. So if you open up your browser, all you need to type in is ADOBH. You can even just search ADOBH. It will be the top result on Google. From here, you'll notice we've actually got a banner on here specifically for the exam. So if you're going to click on the link in the chat, we'll take you directly to the course. Now, just note, to access this, you need to log in. So you need to just select continue. You will say that you are a registered UNISA student since you are writing exams, and you will use your myLife email address to log in. So that's exactly the same as you log into my modules. It's also the same way that you will be logging in to your myExams. So remember, it's your full myLife email address and then your UNISA password. Remember, there is also two-factor authentication, so make sure that your phone is updated, that you do get the notifications if you need to insert a PIN. If you have trouble with that, please make contact with exam inquiries at unisa.ac.za. We will cover the support emails a bit later, but get that resolved as soon as possible. You don't want to struggle on the day of your exams to log in. So once you click on the link, it will ask you to, so how can I say, enroll the first time. So you just click on the enroll me button, you will be immediately enrolled. Now on here, we've got all the lessons that we will be covering today. So for instance, if you're doing this for the first time, you'll start with the orientation. You'll notice on the orientation, we also have the pre-course assessment. So if you missed it, the link is available on here as well. Now, what we really recommend you to do is with this myExams training, work through all the lessons one by one. Don't go directly to the mock exams. First, get an understanding how the tools will work, what tools you're going to be using before you attempt the mock exams. Because, for instance, if you're not going to be using the Invigilator app, you will not be able to actually register on the Invigilator app. So that's why it's so important that you work through the content, make sure what proctoring tools you will be using before continuing. So yes, please make sure that you can access the course, this teaching material. This is where we will be working through quite a lot today as well, and also where you will be doing the mock exams. So with that, thank you, Sheila. I hope everybody has got access to the platform for when we start with the activities.
Thank you so much, Richard and colleagues. Now that you know how are you going to access your online exam, before I take you to another speaker, I just want to quickly make corrections from my introduction. I have to introduce my colleagues to you. I have 14 colleagues in the call, so you are in good hands. I see some of you are raising hands. Please don't raise a hand. If you have anything to say, type in the chat. And then if you are unable to access the chat, I see we don't have Q&A. Yeah, you have to type in the chat, unless if you are unable to access the chat, which I think it is not possible for now. Tuli, I see your hand is up. Please type in the chat. So colleagues, in this call, like I say, we have 14 of our colleagues who are going to be answering every question that you are asking. We have Kwanele, we have our leader, Dr. Chetty, we have Dr. Gavenda, we have David Hapstad, we have Gaga Manisela, we have Mabaso Sophie, who is our interpreter, but she can answer any questions relating to students with special educational needs. And we have Ausma Shangu Lindiwe, and then we have Masedi Tabang Jerry, we have Nell Jessica. Nell will be taking you through academic integrity. As we know, when we'll be taking these exams, we want you to be honest so that the qualification at the end, you know you have earned it. And then we do have Guna Pentias. We are going to watch his video. Unfortunately, he is not yet ready to present live to us, but we are going to share with you a video about support for students with special educational needs. We have our JSS follow. We've got my colleague Chantel Weber, and we have Richard Wright, who just taken you through accessing the myExam support site. Now we're going to take you through the next item on the program, which is now accessing your exam from myExam. So over to you, my colleague. I think it could be David Hapstad, if I'm not mistaken. Over to you, colleague.
Thanks, Prof.
Thank you.
It's actually Lindiwe. So Lindiwe, over to you.
Thank you, Prof. Mphahlele. My name is Lindiwe Mahlangu. I'll be taking you through how to access your online examination. Just wait a bit for me while I share my screen. Apologies about that.
Hi, Lindiwe. I think while you're busy getting ready, I will continue with your section. So, guys, how do you actually access your online exams? So remember, you are going to be working, I can say usually work on my modules, but the exams work on a separate portal. So you do need to know exactly how to access your exams on the day of your examination, especially if this is your first time accessing it. Now, if we have a look, there are 3 steps to access them. The first is you can access it directly from myUNISA. So you don't need to log into my modules. You just go to myUNISA. You click on the myExams portal link, and that will open up the myExams portal. On the myExams portal, you need to select the date on which you will be writing, and then it will open up the list of modules for the date. And once you select your module, it will open up your college's instance of the exam portal. So just to have a look, it's I can say a lot easier than it sounds. You just simply go to myUNISA, you click on My Exams, on the important links, you select the date that you will be writing on. You will notice it's only today's date and then 4 days in advance. So if you're writing in 5 days, it will not be showing there currently. Once you select the date, then it will open up the list of modules for the day. So you select your module, and this will open up the login screen for your exam portal. So remember, each college has a separate exam portal. So depending on what, if you perhaps have modules in 2 different colleges, you might be using 2 different exam portals. Now, the way you log in, exactly the same, again with your MyLife email address. So remember, it's not just your student number, it's your full MyLife email address. you put in the password, and then from on the last screen, you can select whether you want to stay signed in. Now, my advice always here is if it's a shared device, always say no. But if it's a device that only you use, then you can definitely select yes. It just makes it a lot easier in the future to log in. Now, as you know, there is two-factor authentication. First time you log in, we'll ask you for your PIN that will be texted to you. Alternatively, you can also download the Authenticator app. So this is an app that you can download on your phone. You set it up once, and it just makes it a lot easier to get the codes that you can insert when they ask you to log into a new location. So you don't need to rely on text. You just need to have the app. And this can be downloaded from the Google Play Store and the iOS Store. Now, once you access the exam portal, you'll actually notice it looks exactly the same as my modules, except at the top it will say myExams. And on the drop-down, you will have access to the various modules that you can access. And then, so once you select the module, you'll notice it's usually at the bottom right. That's where you can select your assessment to do for the day. So before we dive into the assessment types, let me just take you step by step through this as well. So you visit myUnisa. On the myUnisa homepage, you'll see under important links, very importantly, myExams. As you can see, it's only today's date and then 4 days in advance. So you select any of these specific dates. So we can have a look. Currently, there are no exams listed, and that's because the exams are only starting next week. Now, there is also a short URL that we will share in the chat as well that will take you directly to this exams portal in case there's any problems with the myUnisa on the day. So you can have that link directly to the myExams portal. Now, I really want to emphasize this as well. As you can see, 4 days in advance. So 4 days if you're writing in 4 days, you can actually go and sign in already. And why would you want to do that? It's because of the two-factor authentication. Go to the site, go through the process, select your module, sign in. You can actually make sure that your modules are listed, that you are able to sign in. So you've got additional 4 days if there's any problems to solve with your sign in. You can even go to the module. Obviously, the assessment will only open up on the day of the examination, but you can already make sure that you've got access to it. So I really advise it, especially if this is the first time using the portal, go and make sure that you can sign in to the portal. Now, also just to highlight on the page, the course that we were visiting. So this is under, it's the lesson 1. Steps to access your exam. So we provide the steps here as well. So if you want to go afterwards, just for a quick refresher on how to access it, go and visit this page and it will take you through the step-by-step guide on how to access it. Now we come to assessment types. Now, a lot of you, especially if it's your first time as well, you'll notice the terms. There is, for instance, MCQ exams, there's take-home exams, and there's another one, module arrangement. What does this mean? MCQ exams uses the quiz activity on myExams. So if you've done a quiz already with your assignments, it's exactly the same. It's only proctoring that will be added to the MCQ exam. The same with the take-home exam. This is an assignment activity. That means it's written. So MCQ is multiple choice. Take home, it's going to be a written exam that you have to write out or type out in Microsoft Word. Module arrangement is a bit different. We don't cover it here. These ones don't get proctored. They usually also happen on my modules. So this is, for instance, a portfolio that you need to submit or a evidence that you gathered up through the year. So as it's mentioned here, module arrangement. This is the information that you have to get from your lecturer They will tell you exactly how to submit and when to submit on your specific module. So for general formal exams, we focus on these two, MCQ exams and take-home exams. Now, on the page, this will fall under lesson 2, assessment types, where we also go through the different types. I just want to show you here, we will go through this more in depth when we get to the proctoring tools, but MCQ, very easy. It's a quiz. You basically select attempt quiz now. As we mentioned, there will be proctoring associated to it. So depending on what module and what college you're at, it might be different types of proctoring. But generally for everybody, the most it will be the Moodle proctoring that we will get to for quizzes, where you just have to agree to the validation process and you start the attempt. Now you'll notice this is, for instance, MCQs. So you select the correct option before proceeding to the next one. Now, very important in the exams as well, it's sequential. That means you can't go back. And they also shuffle the questions. So make sure you answer a question before going to the next question. And then also remember, if you do lose connectivity during the session, you can just log in. It will remember where you left off and you will continue from where you left off. Now, also, as we mentioned, it's questions are shuffled. So you and somebody else will not get the same questions. They've got how can I say, big data set of questions, and that gets shuffled so that each one can get a different question for each, how can I say, question number. Now, very importantly, once you're done, you need to click on finish attempt and then submit all and finish again. So there's another pop-up that appears. But don't worry too much if you get stuck by this end, because everything will be submitted automatically once the time runs out. So, you know, as long as you make sure you've answered all the questions, if you run out of time, it will submit automatically. Now, for the take-home exams, as we mentioned, it's a bit different. This is where you download a question paper, then you go and type it out in Microsoft Word, or you write it out by hand. And always refer also to what your academic says. A lot of questions we usually get, is it open book? Remember, all exams are closed book unless your academic specifically tells you that the exam is open book. So just make sure to find out from your academic that you what type of assessment this is. Now this one, we will go, as I mentioned, go through the proctoring tools, but generally this is the Invigilator app. This is where you will run the app next to you while you complete this. Now, I just want you to make sure, note or take note of these when you do submit. Firstly, you have to tick the box to acknowledge that this is your own work. You only have a maximum file size of usually about 50 megabytes. And then you select the file. It will appear here once it's selected, but make sure of the file types that you may submit. The best format usually to use is a PDF document. So make sure that you know how to save or scan into a PDF document to submit. But usually they also allow Word documents. Now, very importantly is also the number of files. You'll see here, for instance, 1. That means you can only submit 1 file. So you need to have all your PDF scans in 1 PDF document or in 1 Word document. Once you've uploaded, you can just select Save Changes and it will be able to submit. Now, if you perhaps realize, you know, after you go click on this link again, you realize perhaps, oh, wait, I submitted an incorrect assessment. You can always, if they're still within the time, you can edit the submission and upload a new version. So please make sure with your exams what type of proctoring tools you are going to be using, what type of assessments you will be using. Maybe you will have mostly MCQs, but usually it's a mixture of both. So make sure for which one module, what type of assessments it will be, and that will also impact what type of, how can I say, proctoring tool you will be using. Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you so much, Richard. colleagues and students, I hope you are able to see that on the program, Richard has covered 2 items. He has covered accessing your exam from myExam portal, and also he mentioned the different types of exams that you might be having. I see on the chat someone is saying is a first year student and he or she wants to know which type of exam. We're going to get to that because you need to take your module code and now check or even check your timetable, because on the timetable it will tell you what type of exam are you going to do. And at the moment already you have seen the types of assessments that you're going to have as exam, and for you just to verify. You might find for module number 1, you're writing MCQ, for module number 2 is file upload and so forth. So for all your modules, you are not going to have a same assessment type. So check your timetable. And then if you are still struggling, I believe it's good to communicate in the chat and post your module code in the chat, and then you will be assisted. So now I'm going to be calling my colleague. She's so energetic, and she will be presenting to you the academic integrity. So be prepared, my colleague. I know you might have not been prepared because if you were not aware that Richard has covered both. Let me give you a minute while I do that. I'm going to ask again, students, please write your questions in the chat so that our colleagues here are able to assist you with your questions. So let me know when you are ready, Jessica, with your presentation.
I am indeed ready.
Okay, if you are ready, I know you, the energy of this woman, you will hear as she is talking to you guys. And I wish you can grab that energy. I don't know, you're gonna grab it through the AI or through the Bluetooth. I don't know, but grab it because you need it for these exams. Over to you, Jess.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sheila, for that very glowing introduction, and welcome to all the students here today. I'm absolutely blown away by your attendance. The numbers are staggeringly high. Colleagues and students, I'm going to be taking you through our academic integrity at UNISA. It is based around 6 core values for academic integrity. The whole concept of a university, not just UNISA, any university, is typically built around these 6 values. It's not just about the faculty and staff, but everyone, all stakeholders, all students related to the university. And we all need to embrace these values. If we don't, we're going to risk losing our credibility, which can have serious consequences. Can you imagine if you attend a university that loses its credibility? Do you think employers in the future are going to value your degree? So my point being, we all need to uphold these values. So let's look at them a little bit closer. First up, we have our honesty. Now that is about, as a student, being truthful, giving credit where it's due, keeping your promises, staying factual. It's a collective effort for everyone. Trust is next. How do you build trust as a student? Mainly by producing work, that's your assessments, your interactions in your discussion forums, that is honest and it's thoughtful and true to you as a person. So when you act with sincerity, when you promote openness and you encourage understanding among diverse students, you're helping to build trust. Then we have respect. This is not just about treating yourself and others with dignity. You show respect when you seize opportunities to learn, when you take responsibility for your own education, and when you participate in a way that's fair and kind. When you get feedback from your lecturer, from your fellow students, listen to it, think about it, be reflectful about it. That is showing respect. Then we have fairness. As students, you are going to be able to demonstrate fairness by doing your own work, citing sources properly, respecting the university rules and policies, and helping to uphold our university's reputation. Responsibility, that is a shared burden across the community. It's not just about holding yourself accountable, but also others. It's about knowing and following the rules of the university and setting a positive example. You need to do things like seek out information from your lecturers about the policies, about your assessments, and when you are unsure about something in your studies, seek out that information. That is how you demonstrate some responsibility. And finally, we come to the value of courage. Upholding our high standards of academic integrity takes a lot of courage. It's not about just standing up for yourself, but for all your fellow students. You have to stand up against any wrongdoing that you come across and defend the integrity of the university. So there you have it in a nutshell, these 6 values of academic integrity. So let's imagine for a moment that these values aren't followed. Say, for example, you cheat or hire someone to write your exam, maybe copy someone else's work without giving them credit. What happens if you take those habits into the workplace? Again, employers are not going to be lining up to hire someone who doesn't show academic integrity. So if there's a disciplinary case on your record, chances are you're not going to get that job. You have to think of it like a chain reaction. If word gets out that students at a university don't uphold academic integrity, the value of the degree decreases. So that's not just bad news for a university, but also for all of its graduates. We could lose our accreditation from quality assurance bodies like the Council of Higher Education or the Southern African Institute of Higher Education, who recognize UNISA as a reputable institute that produces quality graduates like yourself. So in the end, it's not just about you as an individual student, but all students. If others cheat, even if you uphold those integrity values, if others cheat, it can tarnish the value of your degree as well. That is why it's so important. So let's clarify a few things about what could happen. How could you fall into the pit of academic dishonesty, even if it's by accident? One of the most common ones is plagiarism. That's when you present someone else's work or ideas or expressions as your own without acknowledging. We typically require you to cite your source and also provide the full reference to your source. We require that you paraphrase. That means to put things in your own words, and you don't just copy and paste from an internet site or an article. Then we have cheating. Now, cheating is when you're using unauthorized materials or information or assistance in any of your academic exercises. Collusion is collaborating without authorization with others to produce work that you're presenting as your own. So if you get someone else to help you and you present it as your own work, that is collusion. Then we have the 3 Fs: falsification, fabrication, and facilitation of dishonesty. Falsification is where you deliberately alter or invent or misrepresent data or information or even citations in your work. Fabrication is where you falsify or invent any information in an assessment. Facilitation of dishonesty is helping another student to commit an act of academic dishonesty. So sometimes in the middle of an exam, you might get a message from a fellow student you've been working with, asking you to maybe help them, pinpoint them in the right direction, and you want to help them, they're your friend. But as soon as you do, you are facilitating dishonesty. Then we have impersonation or third-party assistance. This is where you have a person that pretends to be a student. They take on the student's identity, or if you allow another person to assume your identity to complete any academic work. And then the most recent buzzword on the market being artificial intelligence, unethical or irresponsible use of artificial intelligence software. If you use any sort of AI to generate or present work as your own, or you carry out activities without authorization from your lecturer to use AI or acknowledging the use of AI, this is dishonest behavior. So remember, these actions can have a big impact on your future. Now we have a more recent one in online examinations, and that is failing to use your proctoring or invigilation software. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of questions in the chat. Colleagues, we are going to be taking you through the Proctoring, Iris, and Invigilator app very shortly. What's important is that you use the right software. Not doing so is a breach of academic integrity. So when you also, another more recent one that we're having is the uploading time. When you upload your work, there's a specific time set aside for this at the end of your exam period. So for example, if you have a 4-hour exam, you might get an extra 10 to 15 minutes purely to focus on saving it as a PDF and uploading it. Some students use that time to continue to write, and then they run out of time to upload their final exam. So make sure that you use that upload time exclusively to finish off, save, and upload, or iron out any potential issues you experience. Otherwise, you risk failing to submit that final exam. So let's talk a little bit about what happens if plagiarism or cheating is suspected by the lecturer. It's a very formal process and it's designed to ensure fairness. First, the lecturer is going to gather all the necessary evidence. So during this time, the marks for that assessment are going to be put on hold while this investigation takes place. And once all this evidence is collected, you are issued with a warning letter. At this point, the student can either accept the charge or they can decide to contest it. If that student decides to contest that charge, a formal hearing will be set up, and this hearing will weigh the evidence and determine whether the student is indeed guilty or not, committed academic dishonesty. If they are found guilty, then there are sanctions that are put in place. But students, please remember, you're never alone in this process. You do have the right to be represented by a fellow student or an SRC member. And if you're not satisfied with that outcome, you are allowed to appeal. But once the appeal is done, that decision is final. So what are some of these sanctions? What are the consequences if academic dishonesty has occurred? Well, we have immediate academic penalties. This might include things like failing the assessment or being allocated a 0 for that assessment. We also have disciplinary action. So this depends on the severity or how frequently the student has been found guilty of misconduct. So if it's a repeat offender, it increases in severity. And these disciplinary actions can range from formal warnings to suspension, even expulsion from the university. And then don't forget, this goes onto your academic record, so it has an impact on your future. So these records are available for follow-up by other institutions or organizations. So this would prevent you from being able to maybe get that job or move to a different university. But now I don't want to talk about the mean stuff anymore. I want to focus on what you can do to stay clear of any sort of dishonest behavior. Let's look a little bit at those 6 values again. Honesty, trust, respect, responsibility, fairness, and courage. We can't assume that you're going to magically understand these. So we incorporate this type of training into our programs. We have massive open online courses to take you through academic integrity, just like we're doing today. So we'd like to arm you with some knowledge and skills to uphold these values. And what you see on the screen are things like study something you enjoy. Don't feel pressured to study a specific topic you're not interested in because your family wants you to. You're going to uphold those values when you love what you're studying. Time management is also another crucial skill. I don't know if you've heard the concept of notional hours, but this is the idea that 1 credit is 10 hours of study. So if you have a 12 credit module, That is 120 hours of work. If you can master that concept, you'll be able to create your own weekly study schedules. You'll be able to plan better and you'll be able to manage your workload and not sign up for too many modules in a semester. We also want you to know where to go if you need to practice certain skills, like if you're feeling overwhelmed with computer skills or how to save documents as PDFs or using Word. You will see on that site that Richard directed you to for this myExams training that there are other courses there, courses that take you through the skills you need to be successful in online universities. So please explore them. And then lastly, don't forget, if you're unsure about something or you're feeling overwhelmed, please reach out to our counseling unit. It's there to support you for things like personal, financial, or academic challenges. You'll see that email on the screen. It is counseling@unisa.ac.za. Now, lastly, remember that thing about courage? If you ever witness academic dishonesty, please act. You can anonymously report any instances to the whistleblowing hotline on 0800 075278 or email unisa@thehotline.co.za. I know it can seem scary, but standing up for what is right is crucial to protect academic integrity, to protect your degree, and to protect others. It's like a big puzzle. Let's do our part to keep this puzzle intact and uphold integrity. Thank you, Sheila, and I will look at the questions in the chat.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Let's give her a round of applause. I see you already applauding. You are making my job very easy. And colleagues, I'm appealing to you to say, let's answer the messages in the chat. And then I see Tuli is saying you are honestly lost. Please, Tuli, type your full message and tell us where we lost you, because we don't want to leave anyone behind. The purpose of this session is to ensure that everyone comes along and write their exams with ease and pass. So if we are losing you on the road, please let us know where exactly are we losing you. And we're still gonna have other sessions. You can still come back, and we do have the recordings. You can at your own time sit, watch the recording, and when you watch the recording, you'll be able to pause and rewind, and next time when you come to another session, you will be able to have specific questions now after realizing this is what I still need further clarity on. Okay, now we're moving on. You know, you need to uphold the academic integrity, but this academic integrity starts with identifying who you are. So for us to see indeed if you are the person who is writing these exams, you need to upload your profile photo. So I'm going to call my brother Thabang to show you how do you upload your profile photo. Before you even start writing, you should be sure that the face that is there as your profile photo is correctly uploaded. Thabang, are you ready?
Good afternoon, Prof. Yeah, I'm very much ready, I guess.
Sure, over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, team. Good afternoon, team. And yeah, also just to give a welcome, to say welcome, team, and we are together in this one. And all the best with your examination. Without any waste of time, I will take you through how to upload, how to make yourself visible. I see, if you can check, there's a profile of Thabang on the Teams, and there is also profile of Hapstead David. So I just want you to note the difference so that when I'm also going to take you through the training, you'll see that the one of David is not David. So it means if we deal with academic integrity, which Jessica took you through, it's not going to work because we are not going to be able to identify you. So you will not be complying and UNISA will not know you. So even if you go and you appeal, so you will not be assisted in any way because we will say, show us your picture, and you don't have your picture. We have a picture of like the one of David. I don't know. Now I'm going to share. You can Prof, you let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Okay,
You can
thank
go
you.
ahead.
So basically, just to take you through also this one, I know you have mastered this one a lot since you have submitted some of the assessment. Once you have logged in, if you can check, it will, because the step is you go to my UNISA, then that's how you log in usually when you submit assessment and when you go to your exam site. Before you can do that, or before you can go to your modules, or before you can go to the exam, on your far right, there is your name if you have not uploaded a picture yet. But if also you are like me, I have uploaded something there. If you can check if I were to write UNISA exam today or on Monday with this picture, the chance is I may not even get results because we are not so sure if that picture, what does it represent. So what you are going to do is you go to the drop down arrow, you click on the drop down arrow, then you go to your profile, the option where it's written profile, you click on profile. Once you have profiled yourself, if you can check it's a car, it means that it's not a person, so it cannot write UNISA exam, because when you use the iris or when they verify, they cannot verify because it's a car. So what you are going to do, you go, if you have, I know some of you are like me, have already posted something or updated something on the profile. So what you're going to do on this one, you'll be expected to just come back to life, to UNISA world, or be a good Unisan. Then you click on edit profile. Once you've edited profile, you can check it gives your name and everything. Then where it says delete picture, you can click on delete. And then from there you say update profile. So if you can check now, I don't have any, it's just the names and it's blank. Then you say edit. Once you edit, you go to those who have, even if you're using the phone, it's the same process. So you're going to click on add. From add, it says upload file. From upload file, you're going to choose where it says choose file. Then you go to your desktop, you look for your document. If you can check, mine it's just here. Prof, this is the next picture which I have actually found in my profile. So I don't have a normal picture, so I just use the closest one. So you write your names, then you upload. After it has been uploaded, you can check there, it's your picture, you can even verify. Then from there you say update profile. After you've updated profile, now that's me. It's no longer the car or someone. So whenever you go through your examination or when they verify, they're able to check your picture against the picture against yourself. So basically, I think with that being said, Prof, I have done my part for the day and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I believe majority of you have uploaded your profile pictures. We don't see your profile pictures on Teams, and we hope in the near future we will see the types of students we are engaging with on daily basis. So if you have questions regarding the upload of the picture, you are welcome to type in the chat, and my brother Tabang will be ready to answer the questions. Now that your picture is uploaded, is the first thing that is going to show us this is the person who is writing. Now, as you are writing, remember, long time ago, before COVID, we used to have face-to-face exam, where in the exam hall where you get in and write, they used to be the invigilators. So at the moment, you're writing wherever you are, whether you are at your office where you work, whether you are at home, whether you are visiting your relatives, you can write your exam. And we still have an invigilator, someone who is going to be invigilating you, even if this someone is not a physical person. That is why we have what we call proctoring tools. Now is your chance to learn about these proctoring tools. Those of you who has been saying, I'm the first year student, please be glued up to the screen right now Stop writing in the chat and listen and watch, because this is the information which is most valuable to you. And for this, I'm going to be calling my colleagues. You are going to have David, you're going to have Erika, you're going to have Richard. So colleagues, this is your platform. Share it for now.
All right, thanks, Prof. So yes, students, so as Tabang said, the profile picture, so you guys need to have a nice picture, and it really is about the proctoring tool that you use. But let's first go back one step, right? So please do your profile pic, get it done. You've seen how to do that. Then the next thing is we're going to look at the exam proctoring lookup tool. I see a lot of students were asking, what tool am I meant to use? Am I meant to use two tools and things like that? So there's a little bit of confusion out there. So let's just relax a little bit, guys. Do your profile pic, takes you a few seconds, and then let's go have a look how the proctoring tool works. Okay, so Tabang showed you how to do the profile pic. So just in case you weren't here, remember you only do it in myUnisa, guys. So just remember that's not myExams. Only in myUnisa do you do your profile pic. So great. So that one we've done it, and we've seen how to upload the picture. Okay, so once you've done that, next step, let's go and investigate which proctoring tool you need to use, if any. And this is what we call the proctoring tool. So as Richard showed you in the beginning, okay, let me just stop sharing quickly because I see it's giving me a hard time. Let me reshare my screen. So as Richard showed you in the beginning, we've got the ADOF site, guys, and when you get to this website, adof.unisa.ac.za, we will post it in the chat, so don't worry. We just scroll down a little bit. You'll see all the courses that you can actually do with student support and some other very interesting ones. And yes, you will see the mock exams, but don't worry, we're still going to get to those. So then you'll find the basic skills for online exams. I'm just going to open it. Okay, so there we go. So of course now I'm logged in, so now you can see I've got a proper profile pickup, but this is just for this site. Okay, this is your practice site. And then once the course opens, you'll see everything that we're covering here today, guys. So those presentations that you're referring to, where do we get them? Yeah, they're right over here. So everything that we're covering is over here as well. So we're already on lesson number 3, how to use the proctoring tool. So here it is. It's actually very easy. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in the first few 3 letters, let's say, of the ENG courses, and immediately it's going to tell me the module codes that are available, what type of assessment is it, and which tool do I need to use. So that answers your question. Now, which tools do I need to go and practice? So if you're doing ENG 1501, then you definitely need to practice using the Invigilating app, and we're going to show you that in a few minutes, how to do it, how to do the demo, to practice so that you're totally comfortable with it. Let's just see what other ones I can find. Here's mathematics. So these ones you'll see, they're using iris proctoring. Okay, so now that's a different tool. So it shows you guys, you don't have to know all the proctoring tools. You're just going to need to focus on those ones that it's according to your modules. So that's very important. So guys, that will be the next thing you do. So step 3 in lesson number 3, upload your profile pic, get it done. So it's nice and neat. Then do the proctoring tools, go see which ones you need to do, and then you can work through those ones that you need to do. So that's very important. Okay, so hopefully that now clears up like which proctoring tools do I need to use. Now, in my case, I'm just going to continue with the presentation. So there are 3 different proctoring tools. So I'm going to cover the Moodle proctoring. So you'll hear that quite a lot, Moodle proctoring or web camera proctoring, but generally we call it Moodle proctoring. And it's really only for multiple choice. So what we've done also is we've created a nice mock exam or practice exam that you can go use to test out the device. That's really what it's for. To test out your device, to make sure your device is working, that you're comfortable with the device, and that you are able to navigate and change the settings to make it even more comfortable for yourself. So I'm going to show you that. Then after me, as Prof. Sheila said, the Invigilating app is going to be done by Erica, and she's going to show you how that works, and also with the take-home exams, or what we call take-home exams. And then, of course, the last piece is going to be Iris, which is also about invigilation, But this one, guys, it's only really for CSET students and CTA students. So it's, again, very restrictive to who needs to do it. So if you don't need it, you don't need to go and practice. And this one is both multiple choice and take-home exams. So Moodle proctoring is actually such an easy one, and that's why we need your profile picture, guys. So if you're doing Moodle proctoring, 100% you do need to upload your profile picture. That would be on myUnisa. It's only for multiple choice, so it's your quizzes. It captures the picture with the webcam, and so your device does need a working camera or a webcam itself. So this is also why we've got the mock exam for you, which I'm going to show you, so that you can test it out to see how does it work, how to disable it and enable it as well. All right, so let me go back then to the course site. You'll see I always come back to the course site because everything is listed here and it makes just a matter of working through it. Okay, so Moodle proctoring. Now you'll notice here we've already got something in sort of a pinkish color saying on your device, guys, if you're using a mobile device, go check out the settings with desktop version. In other words, landscape or desktop. So in other words, you can change how your device's web browser is looking. So that's important. So go play around with this, and there is a FAQ that you can actually go read more about it. But that's why we're doing this practice exams. So you can go practice, and play around. So when you open your exam, right, and you go to the exam page, you'll see something like this. And when you click on it, it's going to pop up a page and it's going to say to you, you're going to write an exam. It gives you the date, the time, all the information that you would expect. Then you click on the attempt quiz now button. And then immediately it's going to say to you, do you want us to allow the camera? You have to say allow. So sorry, students, if you're using this tool, you have to say allow. If you block it or block the camera or do anything to the camera, then unfortunately that means it's an exam violation. So you don't have a choice. You have to allow it, but then just continue with the exam and ignore it basically. Once you say allow, you'll see the page will basically be waiting for you. You'll say click on attempt quiz, and then you'll see this immediately is going to pop up. So I'm going to show you this in a few minutes. Then you have to tick this little box to say that you're part of the validation. Your webcam should automatically start up. And then you'll see the button becomes available. So only once you tick it over here does that button become available. Then you'll see it'll start up, your exam questions will pop up, you'll see yourself here at the bottom, but then please just continue with the exam itself. We also do have a video for you guys, so if you want to run through the steps but just using the video, you'll see there's Prof. Marais. You can actually watch this video as well, and it'll actually guide you through exactly the same steps that I've just showed you. Right, once you've gone through this and you're comfortable and you say, okay, I'm ready to do a mock exam, then please scroll down and you'll see there's a little button. You're going to click on it. It might ask you to enroll. Just say click on the enroll button and then the page will open. That's perfectly normal. Then I'm just going to scroll down and I'm going to use this one called mock exam. So this is my practice exam. Remember, I want to test my device. Click on it, it gives me the exam rules, so pretty much what you would expect to see. There are the guidelines as well. And then you'll notice it's going to start picking up the webcam already. So you can see in my case, because I've done it more than once, it's already saying to me, I can see the webcam is needed on this one. So I'm going to click on preview quiz. And there we go. Immediately my camera opens up and then you'll see there's the button. Now you'll see the button's not available until I click on here. So it's a little bit dark where I'm sitting, so that's not the greatest place. So I might need to switch on the light and whatnot. So make sure your lighting is pretty good, hey? Otherwise it will give you a warning. And then I'm going to click on start attempt. And then you'll see, boom, it happens. So there in the right-hand corner, you'll see me there. But obviously if you're using a smartphone, you might see this is hidden from you. So it'll be a matter of using a smartphone to see the menu option and then be able to answer the questions. So this here, guys, is to test your device. It's not really about the questions. It's about testing your device. Okay, I see a lot of people are doing it, so that's slowing down already. So that's one thing we'll just have a look at if we can clear it. Okay, see there's the message. Because I moved away, it can't see me, so it's saying, hey, I can't see you now. So this is something you're just going to play around with, come a bit closer, but I think my lighting's a bit dark. So yes, so that is a nice warning there just to warn you. But please just continue with your exam. If you are sitting in a bright area and there's no such issues, sometimes it just does this because you might be a little bit too far away from the device. But that's it, guys. That's how the Moodle proctoring works. As you guys can see, it's nice and straightforward. Please go test it on the device that you're going to use and make sure that you've got a secondary device. So just in case there's something wrong with your primary device, that you can easily use on the second device as well. So you can go practice this, make sure it works, make sure you're comfortable, and make sure you know how to enable and disable your camera as well. So go play around with it. So there's the little button over there. You see, and it pops up the menu, and I can switch it off and switch it on like that. So it's very easy to do, to switch it on. Now, of course, in your exam, you're not allowed to do that, eh? You can't switch it off. So yeah, so go play around with these settings so that you're comfortable, guys. That's so important. You see the reload button comes because you can see my camera now went dark. So only if I reload it, then it will reinitialize the page. So it's good to go and practice and play around with these things. That's what's really important. Okay, so that's pretty much the Moodle proctoring side. And now we're going to hand over to Erica, who's going to show you how the Invigilating app works. Over to you, Erica.
Good afternoon, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Erica Latoy. I'm from the Invigilator app, and I'm going to take you through a few things that you need to know about the app, both for users who've used it before and also brand new users. So I'm just going to switch my camera off and share my screen with you. Okay. For those of you who have not used the app before, you are going to, if you look at the bottom bullet on this slide, you are going to download the Invigilator app on your smartphone by going to your smartphone's app store. Now, depending on your device, it's going to be either the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, or the Huawei App Gallery. And you're going to search for the Invigilator, and then you're going to download it on your phone. And if you see that picture, that green picture with the owl with the big glasses, then you know that you've got the correct app because that is our logo. So one word of caution and advice from my side is that if you've not used the app before, it is extremely important that you download the app in the next few days when you have 15 minutes available, because we find that students who try and do this on the day of their first assessment run out of time, and that just adds a lot of anxiety, which is not necessary. So it's going to take you about 15 minutes because you're going to download the app. Then you are going to go through a registration process. And remember, for the registration process, you need two things. You need your student number, and then you need your MyLife email address. So it's not a personal email address, it's your MyLife email address. Once you've registered, the app is going to take you through a calibration process, and then you're also going to take your master selfie. So you need to set aside some time to do this as soon as possible. If you run into any trouble, and I'm going to get back to this later on, we have a dedicated help desk, which is available if you have any issues with the app whatsoever. So once you've gone through the download, registration, and calibration process, the next very important thing that I want to recommend you do, and I know that you guys have mock exams as well that you can do, but in your student user guide, which I'll have a look at just now, we have on page 8, we have a demo QR code, which you can scan, and it's about 8 minutes long. And all it does is it simulates what the app will be doing during an assessment, but without being in an assessment, obviously. So this is a great way for you to test out the app and to play around with the app so that by the time that your first assessment arrives, you are completely comfortable and you know what is expected of you. Now, for those of you who have used the app before, I want to recommend that you also do the demo test, which is available on page 8 of the student user guide. And the reason for this is that we have made a number of changes on the app. So by doing the demo, it's going to test whether you've got the latest version of the app. If not, it's going to ask you to please update your app. And of course, this is important to know before you actually start writing your exams. Okay, so for previous users, You don't have to go through the registration process again, but I do want you to do the demo so that we can just make sure that you're on the latest version of the app. Then, guys, the next thing that I just want to briefly talk you through are just the different functionalities of the app, just so that you understand what the app is going to be checking for while it is invigilating you. So top left, during the course of your assessment, you will be asked to take, I think it's 2 or 3 selfies. Now, we compare these selfies with the master selfie that you took when you registered on the app. And with artificial intelligence, we make sure that it is the correct student writing the test and not someone writing on your behalf. Then just below that, script upload. So guys, this is very important. Once your invigilation time runs out, you are going to be asked to upload your script to your app as well. Now, this is a very simple process. Basically, what happens is the moment that your invigilation time runs out, you get 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, all you need to do is to take a photo of each of your answer sheets. And then automatically we will convert that into a PDF document and it will be uploaded to the Invigilator database automatically. Now, very important, please remember that the script upload to the Invigilator app does not replace your script upload to UNISA's portal. You still must upload your script to UNISA's portal. So this is very important for you to realize that you're going to do a double script upload, once to the app, once to UNISA, and both of them are compulsory. Then just below that, very important, out of app time. So ladies and gentlemen, if you close or minimize the app at any point during invigilation, that time is monitored. And when you reach a certain benchmark, it is regarded as a transgression and you will not get your results. Because the theory here is, of course, that while you are in the app, you are unable to do all sorts of funny things that you are not allowed to do while writing your test. But the moment that you close or you minimize the app, then you are able to, whether it is Google an answer, use ChatGPT. So this is something that UNISA is very strict about. So please make sure that the app is running in the foreground for the entire duration of your assessment. Then top middle, voice recordings. So as you are writing, we will be doing voice recordings as well. And the purpose of these recordings are to detect human speech, and more specifically, if you are discussing the content of the test with someone else. So guys, I know that sometimes, you know, you like to read your questions out loud, or maybe you like to talk to yourself during the test. That is not a transgression. All of these audio recordings are listened to, and it's only when you are discussing the content of the test with someone else that that is seen as a transgression. Just below that, please make sure that you have some form of identification with you when you are writing. And it can be an ID card, it can be a student card, it can be a driver's license, it doesn't matter. But you are going to be asked to take a photo of some form of ID. Just below that, we also track your GPS location where you are writing. And if you are writing in very close proximity with another student, that of course is flagged. But let me reassure you that a GPS failure in itself is not a transgression. We know that often students write in student accommodation or maybe in a library or in an office. And from that perspective, you will be in close proximity. However, we prepare a report for your lecture in which we indicate which students were close to each other when they wrote the test. And those scripts are then marked directly after each other. And the marker is on the lookout for any possible copying that might have taken place. Then top right-hand side. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have 2 devices, so in other words, you have a laptop and you also have a smartphone, you're going to use your laptop to complete your assessment or to download your assessment, and you're going to use your smartphone for invigilation purposes. But for those of you who only have a smartphone and nothing else, for those students, we have a built-in browser in our app, which means that As you are being invigilated, you are also able to access UNISA's website, and you can access your assessment and download it if you want to. Okay, so there's a built-in browser. Once you've scanned the QR code, you will see that you are able to then navigate yourself to your assessment. Okay, there's something else that I just also want to share with you. Just give me a moment and we'll have a look at that. So on the ADOF site, under lesson 3, where all the proctoring tools are, you will see that there is a section dealing with the Invigilator app. So I just quickly want to mention a few things here. I don't want to waste your time. There is a 7.5-minute video here that I suggest that you watch. It's a nice visual interactive way to explain the student experience to you. And then just below that, you will see there's a link to the Invigilator app student user guide. So on page 8, as I've mentioned before, of this guide, you're going to find the QR code that will take you to the 8-minute simulation of the app. So this is really important for you to do. Right, then you can read through this information. I just want to also talk about our WhatsApp help desk. So guys, as I've mentioned before, if you experience any problems with the Invigilator app, and this really can be anything, I'm struggling to download, I'm struggling to register, I'm getting an error message, or even on the day if there's an issue, please send your query via WhatsApp to the number that you see on the screen. So I would suggest that you save this number on your device today so that you've got it handy whenever you need it. So if you have an issue with the app, please don't contact UNISA. Send a WhatsApp straight to our help desk. You're going to see that when you send your WhatsApp, you are first going to get an automated message that just asks you for more information. So it's going to ask you, what module are you writing? What time are you writing? What is the issue that you're experiencing? And the moment that you answer that automated response, you are then transferred to a real person, an agent who will troubleshoot with you and help you with any problems that you might be experiencing. Right, I think that is all I want to say from my side about the Invigilator app. I'm going to have a, I'll cast my eye over the chat function for any questions. But guys, if you have any questions, like I've mentioned, please reach out to the help desk. I see, just quickly want to mention one thing. There's a question about a lock screen. So for those of you who have a lock screen on your phone, you don't need to worry about it. The app is going to override your lock screen. So your phone won't lock while you are writing. But what is going to happen is that your screen, your phone screen is going to dim, and that is perfectly normal because we are trying to conserve your battery power. Final thing that I want to mention is remember that the app runs offline, so it does not need a constant internet connection. So you need a very brief internet connection right at the beginning of your test so that you can scan the QR code. The moment that you've scanned the QR code, the app disconnects from the internet. It's running offline on your device. So, if you run out of mobile data, if load shedding kicks in, if your Wi-Fi signal drops, it's not an issue because you're not connected to the internet in any way. And then right at the end, you then need to upload your information. That upload is not time sensitive. So just remember at the end, 2 things happen. First of all, you get the 10 minutes in which you need to take a photo of each of your answer sheets. That is time sensitive. If you miss that 10 minutes, if you don't take the photos in that 10 minutes, there is no script to upload. So you have to make sure you take your photos in the 10 minutes. But once that's done, you have 48 hours to upload your information. So let's say at the end of the test, for some reason, you do not have an internet connection. That's okay. We encrypt all of the data on your device. Just make sure that you come back to the app within 48 hours and that you upload the information. Thanks so much from my side. And, from the Invigilator side, I just want to say Best of luck for the upcoming assessments. We hope it goes really well. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. So students, I'm just going to take you through the mock exam and also the steps that we follow at UNISA on the day of your exams. Now, just to highlight, when you start with the app, once you've registered, remember, firstly, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you are actually using the Invigilator app. So if we type in here, for instance, your module code, it says Invigilator app. That means you will be able to register on the app. If it shows you that message that you basically your email has not been provided by the university, remember then to reach out to the WhatsApp line when you are sure that you will be using the Invigilator app. Now, when you're registered, when you open up the app, it will look like this. So you select on Start Invigilation. Then you can either opt each QR code. It has a code at the bottom, or you can scan the QR code. So the easiest is just to select on Scan QR code. It will pop up. You will scan the QR code that you received. Now, this QR code will be on your question paper. Some of the academics also email it to you beforehand. So remember to check your MyLife email address as well. Then from there, once you've scanned, it will just identify you, make sure that the information is correct. You will select yes. You can test the sound to make sure that you will get the notifications. You can then select start. So it will give you some tips, on script upload and various other applications, such as, be in a quiet space, and then you can start. So once this screen opens up here, it will already show you a countdown here at the bottom as well. This means the assessment has started. So now and again, you will get a notification. So for instance, here, take a photo of your ID document or student card. You press continue. You simply just take a picture of it. And then you, with this button here at the bottom, and then it will add it to the list of images taken. Later on, it will ask you for a selfie. So you just continue. You put a center on the image. You click this button again to take a selfie, and it will be saved to your list. So you can see there's a selfie and then there's an ID document. So then you basically continue writing until you are done, or when the time runs out, where it will give you a notification, wait, your time has run out. You only have 10 minutes to upload. So remember when Erica mentioned that you have to scan within this 10 minutes, but then afterwards, if the upload gets stuck, it gets problems, you still have that 24 hours to actually upload, but you have to take the scans within this 10 minutes. So it will run out of time. It will tell you take a picture of the scan. You make sure that your documents are in a well-lit area and it's flat. And then basically you scan in the documents. And the scan tool is very nice. You just keep it on top of your document. It will draw this blue border around it. And you just click this button to scan. And you continue doing this for all your pages until you are done. You click on this done page over here, and then it will show you your documents. Now, I know a lot of you is going to ask, but wait, I'm typing mine out in Microsoft Word. What do I do? Do I need to print it out? No. When you do the scan, you simply take pictures of your screen. So make sure you scroll through everything that you have typed and take a picture of each page. The best is even if you can save it already as a PDF, so you can see the entire page on the PDF, and you just take a picture from there. Then from there, basically, you have uploaded, you could basically say upload a document. You will even get a reference code for that it has been uploaded. And what's very nice is you actually have this share PDF option as well. So if you've handwritten this, and now you have to submit on myExams, you can actually share this and send it to your email, for instance, and then you can get the PDF document from there ready to upload to your myExams portal. So as we can see in this message, you basically received it, and now you can upload it to myExams. So I just want to highlight here the times. This is usually where everybody struggles, is when do I do what? So before the exam starts, you get 15 minutes. So that means, you go to log into myExams, you select your module, you're signed in. That's 15 minutes before your exam. You can actually then download your question paper already. You start the Invigilator app, and then you start basically. So you've read through your question paper, everything is then ready. So you get this 15-minute grace period over here. Now, the next point is 50 minutes after start. So this means, say you start at 9 o'clock. So that means 8:45, you're already logged in, you've got your question paper, you've got Word open, you're ready to start writing, and you've got the Invigilator app started. 30 minutes after this, you won't be able to scan the QR code anymore. This is then considered you are late for the examination. You can't continue with the invigilation process. Now, during this time, as we mentioned, the app must be running. So remember, it only works on your mobile device. What you do is you just put your phone down. As long as the app is running, the screen will go black, but it will still be the main app running. Now, there is a little bit of a difference when you come towards the end. But I just want to highlight here, the advice still is, if you've got a laptop and a mobile device, best do the myExams on your the laptop, and while the app is running on your phone. But if you only have a phone, remember to use the in-app browser or the in-app internet browser to access your question paper. Now, basically, you started here, so the app is running. It's asking for your pictures along the way. Now you finish, say you finish, you're writing from 9 to 12, but you finish at 11:30. What do you do in this situation? Here, we would suggest you first submit on myExams. Remember, that's the one that gets graded, so that's very important. So you submit on myExams, you log in, you upload your PDF document, and then you submit it, and then you click Finish in the app, and then you scan in your documents and start the upload process within the app itself. But if you're writing until 12, so you get a notification, wait, you must submit now. Now remember, on the app, you only have 10 minutes. So you open up the app, you scan in your documents, and you start the upload process. You don't have to wait for it to finish as long as it starts. And as we mentioned as well, if you run into a problem there, you still have 24 hours to complete the upload. But you only have 30 minutes on the myExams portal to submit. So that's why you must first do this. You only have 10 minutes, but you then have 20 minutes to still submit on myExams. So even when this upload starts, you basically put it down, you go to myExams, and you submit your PDF document. So let's have a look at the mock exams. So if we go here, it's under lesson 3, it's the Invigilator app. This is where all the information is contained. Remember to save this WhatsApp number. It's here at the bottom. This is if you have any problems with the app, you can email them direct or contact them directly. So we've got the mock exam here as well. So this is pretty much how it will look like when you're going to sign into your exam. I have one available over here. So you'll sign in, you'll select your module, and then once you're on your module, you'll select your take-home exam. Let me just get back to this other screen here. So once you're on this page, you will open up your assessment. Remember, this is now 8:45. I come and I scan the QR code. I download the question paper, so I can actually see what is the questions. At this time, I will also already have, for instance, a Word document open that I will be writing in. But yeah, I will scan the QR code and start the Invigilator app. So I'll be writing during this time. It will ask me for pictures. It will ping me along the way. Remember, if you do need to go to the bathroom or anything like that, the advice is speak into the app. Tell it, I'm just quickly going to the bathroom, or I need to go print in the next room. Just make sure that the app knows what you are doing. So in case you get flagged, that somebody actually listens to that they know what you are doing during that time. So after you've written, so you've basically now submitted on the app already. You use the scan feature to scan in all your pages. You've started the upload process. Now you can come here and you can add a submission. Just quickly gonna remove this one that's here. Now on this, you will notice, as we mentioned before, you need to acknowledge that this is your own work. You'll notice here you've only got a 10 megabyte size limit, so you can use a service. I saw a question earlier about iLife PDF to merge documents or make them smaller. You can use that as well while the app is still uploading. And remember, just what you upload here should be exactly the same as what you upload on the app. So if there is a discrepancy between the two, it will be seen as misconduct. So maximum number of files is 1, and here we can only upload a PDF document. So what I would suggest when you do this, start the QR code, make it run like an exam. You type out your question in a Word document, you save it as a PDF. Once you then submit on the Invigilator app, when the upload starts, you come here and then you add your file. So you choose a file from your computer. Let me just here upload this document. So it's a PDF document. Upload this file. I can see it's there and I save the changes. Very importantly, once you've uploaded, click on the file again. So just to make sure that it is the correct file that you wanted to submit. A lot of times in the haste, you might select an incorrect file with a similar name. But if you find, okay, wait, I've uploaded the incorrect document, but you're still within that 30-minute upload period, you can actually come back, edit submission. You simply just click on the existing file, delete it, and then upload your new file. So it's very, very easy to do in that sense. So remember this, 15 minutes before the exams, you log into your exam site. Now, I just want to highlight here as well one thing. So it will show, for instance, not open when you perhaps visit 20 minutes before the exam. It will show locked. Don't stand here and wait on this page for it. It won't automatically unlock on here. If you see it's 15 minutes beforehand, just click the refresh button and then it will show that it's open. So don't just let it stand there and wait for it to open. Remember 15 minutes before, just refresh the page and it will then show that it's open. So that's 15 minutes before you start the app, you read your question paper, you get ready for writing. You start writing, the pings will come through for the picture of your ID document. Remember, it can be your ID document password. If you've got an access card, you can use that as well. Any photographic identification, you take the photos during this period. Remember, this app will be running in the background, recording as well, but you do not need internet access during this period. So you can even put your phone on flight mode, so you don't get all those distractions from WhatsApps and all that type of thing. So when you reach this end time, remember you've got 10 minutes to start the upload process in the app. So you scan your pages or take pictures of your screen. You start the upload process, click on the button, but then you jump directly into myExams to upload your PDF document. So that's basically the Invigilator app. Remember to make contact with them if you do have any problems with the app itself. Please do this as soon as possible. Test it out. You'll see it's actually a lot easier than you would think. Everything is very self-explanatory as you do this. Go do the mock exam as well. Treat it like you would do on a normal exam day, and you will see how easy it really is to use. And then lastly, what we're going to cover is the iris invigilation. Now, just a note here, I've just checked as well. Currently, for this exams, only the College of Science, Engineering and Technology will be using iris invigilation. So if you're not in the College of Science, Engineering, Technology, you will be using either Moodle Proctoring or the Invigilator app. Iris is used by the College of Science, Engineering, Technology for both take-home exams and MCQ exams. Now, where the Iris app only runs on your mobile phone, this one only works on a laptop or a desktop. So this is a Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge extension that you need to install. So you also need to do this as soon as possible. Now, the device that you're using, the computer, it does require a microphone and a working webcam. So especially if you're going to be using a desktop, remember to have, for instance, a webcam attached to it, so it's got a microphone and a camera. So I'm going to take you through on the page exactly how to set this up as well. So if we go back to our page where we now is with iris invigilation, so even here we say that it's the College of Science, Engineering, Technology. Some of the CAS students are using it for their assignments and for their special exams as well. But mostly it's just the College of Science, Engineering, Technology. So if you're with this college, you know already this is the only app that you will be using. Please go and have a look at the setup instructions on here as well. But I really recommend having a look at the official IRIS website. On the IRIS website, they've got a direct link where you can install the plugin or extension, and then also guides. And at the bottom, they've got some frequently asked questions as well. So if you have any problems, you can have a look through here to see if there's any instructions to support you. Now, as we mentioned, this is a Google Chrome or a Microsoft Edge plugin. So all you need to do, you click on which browser you are using, take you to your extension store for your specific browser. So here, make sure it's this logo. A lot of students have in the past downloaded, just go to their store, search for Iris, and they get completely different apps. So I really want to emphasize, go to Iris, click on official Iris website, and then from here, click on the browser that you will be using. Now, to get the app is very easy. You just click on the Get button. It will ask you to add the extension. You add the extension to your browser, and it will pop up at the top. Now, if you click on this little puzzle here, it will also show you that Iris is now installed on here. So how does this work? So if we scroll down to the bottom, we've got the mock exam for this as well. So once you access the mock exam, there's one for both types of assessments. So there's one for take home and for MCQ. So again, what you would do is go look at what proctoring tool you'll be using. But type in here, for instance, math, it will tell me take home. So if it shows MCQ, then you know you need to do the MCQ mock exam as well. Now, we can start off with the IRIS file upload. So this works a lot like the IRIS Invigilator app. 15 minutes beforehand, you can access your question paper. It will pop up automatically, this IRIS window. So please don't close it. The first time it will ask you to enable your camera and your microphone. Now, very importantly on here as well, it will ask you to agree to the terms of and conditions and privacy policy. And there's also a question, consent for the use of data for research and product improvement. You do not need to click this, but you need to click the agree to terms and conditions. The button will turn blue, then you can press on continue. Okay, so for me, as you can see here, it picks up, I'm using two displays. So what I need to do is just quickly unshare on Teams. I will just disable the one screen. And then I will share the screen again. Yeah, I can just exit this. Okay, so we've got the app. It now told me I had two screens. So remember, if you're using a dual monitor setup, you do need to disable the one screen. Now from here, I can go back to this page. I just refresh it and it will pop up again. And this time it will not give me that message. Oh, wait, still giving the message. Let me just disable this one. Yeah, let's try this again. I don't know why the screen came back on. Okay, agree to the terms and conditions, continue. Remember, you need to select your camera. So I'm using this camera over here. I click next, You need to select your microphone that you're using. Make sure that it's the one that picks up your main sound. And then you need to type in your full name. Just click next, your student number, click next. Now it will ask you to capture a photo ID. So all you need to do in this stage is basically just hold up your identification to the camera and you can capture this card. Just make sure that it is legible what's on the card that you did display. So remember, this can be your ID book, password, passport, or any photo identification that you have. Click on next. Now it's asking you to scan the room. So all you need to do here is just start the scan and you rotate your camera left and right. So just to make sure you've got the whole environment, and then you stop the scan. So it will show you even how you scan the environment. Just make sure that you capture the entire room that you are in. Then we can select on next. Now it will pop up this message. And the reason why this pops up is because this is where most people get stuck, is when you have to share your screen. Now it's not very clear, even though you're now only having one screen, you still need to click on the screen before you can click on share. So let's have a look at it. So when I select share, you see I can't click on the share button. I first need to click on entire screen until this bluish border goes around it, and then I'll be able to share. Now I can continue next. So basically, this means my setup is complete. Now I can start. So remember, log in 15 minutes before the time, go through this process, download your question paper, so you can just click on start assessment. So it will let you know that the recording is started. It's recording your face, your eye movements, all of that. So you basically can close this, and then you can start writing out your examination. So what you do is you write everything down. Iris will be running in the background. It will have a little countdown as well towards when you have to submit. But please also keep a track of the time. So as per the Invigilator app, once you are almost done, you basically come here, edit submission or add a submission, you upload your question paper and you save it, and then it will be submitted. It will perhaps give you the option to upload a new version if you are still within the time. So if you made a mistake submitting, you can still upload it. Some of the questions we get a lot is, what if I email this to myself, all of that type of thing. Remember, try and keep your apps that's in your browser on your desktop to a minimum. If you need to email it to your MyLife account. Have that browser window open already so you can access it very quickly. Remember, even if you get flagged, there is still somebody that will go through it, all the material, to see if any academic misconduct has taken place. So even if you get flagged, it's not immediate that it's automatic. Somebody will investigate and go through it manually as well. Now, once you're done on this one, you just select basically finish. You will need to slide over the lock to indicate that you are finished, and then you just select yes, and it will start the upload process. So this window you just keep open while it's uploading until you get a message to say that everything has been submitted successfully. So sometimes, especially with long exams, this can take a while, but just keep this window open until you get this green tick over here to indicate that it has been submitted. And from here, once you've got everything successfully, you can just close it. You've saved your document already to myExams, so you know it's been submitted. Now, I just want to highlight something with the MCQs. And this is also questions that we get quite a lot. So you go through the exact same setup process, select your camera, select your microphone, OS bots, let's go full name. You type in your student number, you capture your ID document again. So I'll just call up that one, for instance, capture ID. Next, you'll have to share your screen as well. So share screen, that one, share. Next, and now I can begin my assessment. So I click on Start Assessment. Now, when you go for this quizzes, so let me click on this one, Attempt Quiz. Now it's asking for a password. Now you'll see if I click here and I say Insert Password for this assessment. Remember, the password is not given to you. It has to be inserted by the iris. If, for instance, in this case, it does not insert the password, just click on Start Attempt and we'll highlight that area and then click on Insert Password again. Let's just click on this quickly. Start Attempt. Insert Password. Sometimes it does take a bit of a while. There we go. You see the password has been inserted. So if that first pop-up, it doesn't want to enter the password there, just say continue. We'll give this message. And then you can come back here, insert password. And now you can start the attempt. And the attempt is, as you saw with the Moodle proctoring, sequential. So you have to answer each question as you go to the next question. You can't go back to the previous questions. Now remember, on the mock exam, this is just to test out iris. So I saw this one was done with ChatGPT, for instance. The questions relating to it, you don't need to get 100% for the mock exam, but you're basically mainly testing out your iris invigilation. And you'll see when I select Finish Attempt, I'll get this message to say I've answered all the questions. I can then submit all and finish. Let's click on Submit all and finish again. And you'll notice the iris has stopped automatically, and now it's starting to upload all of that. So you don't need to click on Finish Attempt. Once you submit, it will detect that you've finished and it will start uploading everything to the cloud. And then once you get the green tick again, now you can close this window. So remember, you can minimize that iris window as well during your assessment. You don't need to keep it open the whole time. But yeah, so you basically have your Word document open, or you will have the MCQ quiz where you go step by step through all the questions. So that's all from me on iris. I just want to highlight quickly, just before we continue to the next section, the proctoring tools. So remember, there are 3 proctoring tools: Moodle Proctoring, Invigilator app, Iris Invigilation. Moodle Proctoring only used for MCQ exams. Invigilator app only used for take-home exams. Iris is only used by College of Science, Engineering, Technology, and it's used for both. You will not be using more than 1 proctoring tool per exam. So please go through the content of the proctoring tools and also do the mock exams so that you know your setup is correct. Once you've practiced this, you don't need to worry about it again, and you only focus on the content material for your exams. Thanks, Sheila. Over to you.
Thank you so much, colleagues, Richard, Erica, and David. Let's give them a round of applause. They have now clarified most of the questions you might be having regarding this Invigilator app, Iris, and as well as Moodle proctoring tool. But if you still have questions, I can see my colleagues are answering you in the chat. And I want to appeal to you, students. Some of you are not giving us clear questions. You just write a statement and we are not so sure what kind of support or maybe an answer you require from us. Ensure that even if you give a background, ask a specific question so that we are able to assist you. Some of you, when someone have asked a question and then at the bottom you just say, that's the answer I'm looking for as well. We don't know which one because there are so many messages. Rather take that person who have asked the question or specify that I also need to be clarified on this so that we are spot on in supporting you. We don't want you to leave here with more questions than answers. We want you to leave this session with answered questions. Now that you have been made aware that we have 3 types of proctoring tools, the question that might come now is what kind of a device do we need? Do we need that phone which does not have a camera on? Do we need an expensive phone? Do you need a laptop? Do you need a desktop? Those questions are going to be answered by David for us now. David, over to you.
Thanks, Prof. Much appreciated. And guys, I hope you're sticking with us. I know we're sharing a lot of information, so just remember the course site, everything is there. Work through it nice and slowly, you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm also going to speak about the regional support, right? So I know a lot of students, you are aware there are campuses all over the country, and you might just go there and think I can write my exam there. What we do suggest is please go to the region, the campus that's nearest to you, go speak to the staff, just go understand the situation that might be on campus with regards to using the facilities, if they're available or not, because you remember guys, they might not be available, so rather go speak to them than just coming to campus and expecting that you can write there. So rather make preparations for that. Okay, so the required devices, guys, well, ideally if you've got a smartphone, most of you guys have got smartphones, not older than 5 years is ideal. Make sure it's up to date, so all the updates have been accessed. Remember, the internet on campus is free, there's free Wi-Fi, so if you do have lots of updates to do, please go do it on campus. You will need access to the internet, so your data, so make sure you've got data. Very importantly, if you've got lots of pictures and videos on your phone, you might not have enough space to install the Proctoring app. So please make sure you delete and make sure you've got enough space so that your phone will work quite well and that the apps will work quite well. So that's quite important. So test out your camera, your microphone, your sound. You can test out these devices by doing the demos to see how it behaves on your device. And as I said, always have in the back of your mind that you've got a plan B just in case you have a problem. It's something easily for you to be able to get to. So that you know that this is what you have to do in case you've got an emergency with the primary device. Okay, if you've got a laptop, it's probably the best one to have. Although your old desktop, this little guy, you can still use it, guys. The only difference then is you just need to make sure you've got a webcam, a microphone, and of course the internet connection as well. There are different ways you can actually go do this, so you can just do some Googling, go to TechLot, and you can actually buy these devices. They're very cheap, actually. Make sure it's running Windows 10 or 11 if it's possible. Again, internet is always required. Remember, you've got Office 365, Microsoft 365 that you can access through My Life. So all those productivity apps you can simply go download and install on your laptop or your desktop. So just remember that. You can find that install button if you log into your My Life email. Make sure you use Chrome and Edge. Those are the two browsers we tend to use the most because they're pretty much stable and it's quite easy to use, as we showed and demonstrated today. Again, if you do have a laptop or desktop, make sure you've got a webcam or camera set up. It works. A microphone, not the headset version, not the gaming version, guys, the other ones, because the gaming versions, you're not allowed to use those. And sound and, of course, Wi-Fi access. But very importantly, test it out the devices, do the demo exams that we've showed you, because it will bring you a lot of confidence to know that, okay, this is how I'm going to tackle my exams. So yeah, these are some points and tips for you. Hopefully it will help you. And yep, I'll be back a little bit later.
Thank you so much, David. Let's give him a round of applause. I know now you know which devices are required. And Ufenze Hulisani, please write your questions in the chat. For this session, we're not going to open your microphones. We only answer you in the chat. We will have a session where we will allow you to speak to us, which we call a blast session. For this session, please type your questions in the chat. So we now have to know if we are stuck, if we need support, who do we contact? We have Kwanele, we've got Jess in the call. I'm going to allow them to give us information about the Student Support Contact Center. Over to you, colleagues.
Thank you, Prof. Students and colleagues, good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Kwanele. I am from the Student Communication Service Center. I will be sharing my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen, Prof.
Yes, your screen is visible. You can put it on a slideshow mode.
Thank you,
Sure.
Prof. Thank you. Yes, I am from the UNISA Communication Center. It gives me so much pleasure to be here today and offer details about how you can communicate with the university during this important time, which is your exam period. So our primary purpose is to provide you, our students, with efficient and effective support through your academic journey. However, for today, I will focus on how you can communicate with us during your exam period. We have different entry points. As you can see on the system, the following entry points are open for you students to communicate with us. We do have the call center number, which is 0800 0018 70. You need to choose option 4 for exam-related inquiries. And please note, this is a toll-free number. You will not be charged. We have quite a few email addresses there, but the most important email address for this period, it is the SCSC exam inquiries email address, which is examinquiries@unisa.ac.za. And also, this one is very important, especially with queries that are related to your MFA inquiries. If maybe you have changed your contact details and you want to notify the institution, it's very important that you communicate with us using that email address. We also have social chats via the corporate page, which is Facebook and Twitter. You are most welcome to communicate with the institution using those platforms. We also have the web chat, which is live. You can access that via the home page. We have the chatbot as well as self-help, which is available to you students 24/7. So the most active one or live one that you can use during this period, it is to communicate with us telephonically via the web chat, because it is live, so as social media and Facebook and Twitter. I do understand that most of our students, they prefer to communicate with us via the telephone platform, but I do encourage you to use other platforms so that you don't wait on the queue forever, because during this period we receive high volume of calls regarding challenges that you face during your examination time. But I do promise you that if you attend these sessions and you are clear as to what you need to do, you will not face challenges. So this is our self-help service as well as the chatbot. You can access it on our page. Chatbot and self-help service, it is available to you 24 hours, 7 days a week, so you can use that any time of the day. Live chat, it is live, available during working hours, which is quarter to 8 until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then when you engage with the department, which is Student Communication Center, we normally call it the contact center. You need to ensure that you provide us with the following information so that we can assist you as soon as possible. Your student number, your contact details, a full description of your challenge. Prof just mentioned now that you need to provide us with your question so that we are able to assist you, because if you are not clear as to what is it that you are looking for, it will take forever for us to assist you. So you need to ensure that you provide a full description of your challenge. If possible, include the screen error where you are experiencing challenges. And please remember to always utilize your MyLife email account, because that is the only email address that is recognized by the institution. We also have an escalation process, which is not really that important. However, we normally use it when we are unable to resolve the inquiries in our section. We normally send it to the supervisors as well as the managers in our section, which is Miss Khabo. We also have 2 managers, one based in Pretoria, one based in the Florida campus. We also have the deputy director, which is Miss Jessie Sifulo. We hardly use this platform because normally we are able to assist you as soon as possible without having to escalate your inquiry. So we hardly receive complex inquiries when it comes to examination period. So my advice is that you need to ensure that you familiarize yourself with the proctoring tools that are being used to access your exams, as well as that are being used by the institution. Having said that, I appreciate your time and attention. I wish you well on your exam. Thank you, Prof. Over to you.
Thank you so much, colleague. And students, I'm sure you've heard there is no need to start with escalating. Some of you love escalating the information before you can even get help. Start where you need help, and then you can escalate later if indeed you are not helped. Now that we know where we get help, we are left with students with special needs to say, how are they accommodated in all this? We spoke about Invigilator apps and Iris and all that. How do they feature, or where do they feature? We're going to be showing you a video that is explaining everything. So sit back, relax, and get information. Thank you. Over to you, Richard or David, to showcase the video.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, fellow students. My name is Pinchas Nkuna, as stated by our program director, Mr. Wright. Today I'll talk to you about services for students with disabilities. The Advocacy and Resource Center for Students with Disabilities, which is a unit within the Department of Student Affairs, was established to provide just for the needs of students with diverse disabilities. The purpose of my presentation today is to give you more information on reasonable accommodation and also the online examination for students with diverse disabilities. And also that students with disabilities are not inferior to non-disabled students. And the acknowledgement of diversity by recognizing that students with disabilities have different but equally valued learning needs. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 exposed the need for students with disabilities to have access to technology in order to write their online examinations. By disclosing a disability during the application period, this increases your chances of placement by the university. The university takes disability serious. Then if you disclose your disability at the point of application and you meet the requirements of the qualification, you are immediately placed. You are not put on the waiting list. Students are also assisted with application for bursaries for students with disabilities, which caters for their tuition fees, prescribed books, assistive devices. And I must emphasize that these assistive devices could make your studies easier and also enable you to write your online exams easy. The bursary has an allocation of 50,000 rands for an assistive device, and again 50,000 rands for human support. One may ask, what is this human support? Students with disabilities, from time to time, they need assistance from a third party. It could be maybe if you are blind, you need somebody to collect a particular material for you or to convert. Then you can use this money to assist to pay the person, or including if you are deaf, you may require sign language interpretation services. You can use this 50,000 rands to fund for the service that you received. And we also have a 2,000 rands allocation, which is a once-off for medical assessment. This is done because from time to time, when you require services from the university, we'll require a proof of your disability. Not because we are taking you back to the medical model, but because we don't see our students face to face, we therefore need the confirmation in a form of a medical certificate. Students who complete special assistance form at the point of registration are also able to receive their accessible study material, which is relevant to their disability, in order to prepare adequately for their exams. This includes your braille material, large print, audio, etc. At the point of registration, students with print disabilities can request prescribed books in electronic formats to study using their assistive devices or laptops with screen readers or text magnification softwares, such as Zoom Text, JAWS, or NVDA. One may ask, what is print disability? These are students who are unable to study using printed material. This could be blind students, students who are complete quadriplegic, students with learning disabilities, just to mention a few. And in terms of special examination arrangements, I'd like to emphasize that students with disabilities are exempted from proctoring for this exam period. Only those who disclose their status at the point of registration. If you have a disability but you did not disclose, you are therefore not exempted from proctoring. And again, I must emphasize that when you disclose your disability, we need a medical certificate to confirm this. And the reason for exempting students with disabilities from proctoring is not because they are lesser beings, but as part of reasonable accommodation. To give an example, the Invigilator app from time to time may require a student to take a selfie or take a picture of their script. If you are blind, you won't be able to take a selfie. And again, another example, if a student is deaf, there'll be a prompt in between whereby it will be in a form of a sound. The deaf student cannot hear that. That, just to give an example, that's why students with disabilities are exempted from this. And again, ladies and gentlemen, for students who require special examination arrangements, it is important to apply. These services is not automatic, because you may present the same disability only to find that your needs are different. Just to give an example, a student who was born blind and a person who acquired blindness later in their lives, the amount of extra time that they will need will differ. Or again, a person who's paraplegic, depending on the level of the paraplegia, their needs will also differ. Students who qualify for special examination arrangements or who can apply for special examination arrangements are students with different disabilities or special needs, or those with medical conditions, as we don't discriminate, we accommodate diversity. How to apply for special examination arrangements? You need to complete a form, and this particular form then must be taken to a medical doctor just to confirm and also motivate, whereby we need to provide an extended support to you. And one may ask, is the extra time similar for all students? No. The extra time will depend on the severity of your disability. And again, the university provides alternative assessment in cases whereby the prescribed assessment does not accommodate your disability, only to qualifying students with disabilities. One may ask, do I apply every year for special examination arrangements? The answer is no. You only confirm once a year. And in cases whereby your disability deteriorates or progress, you'll have to reapply. Just to give an example in this one again, in cases this year, you are partially sighted and your disability progress to complete blindness, then your needs will completely differ. Therefore, you should apply so that you can provide the required support. And for students who will struggle with their screen readers during exams, please make sure that you send an email to examdisabled@unisa.ac.za, and also please copy the lecture there so that we can facilitate the provision of an accessible question paper. And in case if you fall sick during exams, please follow the standard procedure to apply for abroad tests. What do I do? Should I acquire a disability before exam? it is important that you inform the university of your needs. We don't wish to defer students because they've acquired a disability before exams. If you are ready to sit for the exam and you acquired a disability, please inform us so that we can adjust and accommodate you. The confirmation letter for students who applied for special examination arrangements will only be sent to the myLife email address. As Mr. Kaka earlier said, that's the only email that we recognize as UNISA. While we provided students with study material in Braille and large print, it must be emphasized that for this particular exam, students will not be able to write their exams using Braille. They can write their exams using their laptop with JAWS or NVDA. The Braille material was only provided to you to ensure that you are adequately prepared for your exams. We encourage you to please try to test your system, your technology, in particular for students who receive their access technology during this semester. Please make sure that it functions very well. And to our deaf students, we are quite aware that certain students who are deaf, in particular those who are born deaf, they write using the SMS language. We encourage them to write in full. Axwit encourages students not to conceal their disability, because while we respect students' right to disclose or not to disclose their disability, if a student does not disclose their disability, they may not receive or demand reasonable accommodation from the university, because we will not be aware of your individual needs. Ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize that disability can be acquired by anyone, anytime. And disability is everyone's responsibility. As a student, wherever you are, if you don't yet have a disability, it's always important to treat those with disability with the respect and dignity that they really deserve, because you may also acquire a disability at a later stage. And disabilities are both visible and invisible, and UNISA accommodates all these disabilities. Don't say because mine is not visible, I cannot disclose. Please do disclose so that we can accommodate you. And the university may not discriminate against any students with disability. As I said earlier, disabilities comes differently. There are those who are inborn, hereditary, and are those disabilities that can be acquired like through accidents, gunshots, step wounds, diving in a swimming pool. Ladies and gentlemen, never refer to a person with a disability. Don't say they're blind, the paraplegic, the deaf. Refer to the person with using the names that were given by their parents. I urge all students to join hands against the prejudice that constitute the biggest barrier against students with disabilities. And ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all the best with your exams. In conclusion, I'd like to leave you with a quote by Thomas Edison. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard, for showing the video. And colleagues, I see our numbers are dropping. As Pentias have said to us, remember, you might not be having any disability now. However, you don't know what can happen tomorrow. It's important for you to keep this information, the email address. You don't know when you might need it. You can acquire a disability at any time in your life, even tomorrow. So without wasting time, I'm going to request Richard to give us information about our Lwazi, which is our lady who is clever than most of the AI's tools that we know. But this is ours. This is for UNISA, and it will give you all the information that you require at UNISA, unlike the other AI tools that know nothing about UNISA. Richard, over to you.
Thank you, Sheila. So just before we get to the Lwazi, I just want to really emphasize, please complete the post assessment. I will post a link to the post assessment in the chat as well. So this really helps us to gain your understanding that you've gained through this attending this workshop. So on all the topics that we covered, and we also analyze it to see any areas that we can perhaps improve on in the future. And then also to really, how can I say, liven it up, especially now there when we're going to be listening to Lwazi, please complete the quiz to win. Remember, we've got 3 prizes that you can actually win. So we'll take the first top 3 that gets the best results. So I'm going to post a link in the chat as well, but you can scan the QR code that is on the screen. So while you listen to Lwazi, while we show you how Lwazi works, you can do this in the background to stand a chance to win one of the prizes. So scan it. I'll give you another 10 seconds or so. The link is also in the chat, and then we will start with Lwazi.
Thank you so much,
I am
Richard.
extremely excited to introduce you to a brand new feature that has been developed to further support you in your academic journey, our online myExams assistant chat. Our online assistant chat is a virtual space where you can ask questions, seek guidance, and receive support for all your exam needs. Whether you're struggling with a specific topic, need help preparing for an exam, or simply looking for advice on how to manage your time effectively, our online assistant chat is here to assist you. Accessing and using the online assistant chat is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Simply visit the ADOVH site and click on the Give an Exam Question button at the bottom right, and start typing your question. Me, as the AI-powered assistant, will then provide you with the information you need in real time. I strongly encourage all of you to take advantage of this fantastic resource. It is a convenient and effective way to get the support you need, whenever you need it. And don't worry, my online assistant chat is designed to be user-friendly and accessible to everyone, regardless of your level of technical expertise. So, what are you waiting for? Give it a try and see how my online assistant chat can help you achieve academic success. Remember, we are here to support you every step of the way, and together, we can overcome any challenges that come our way. Thank you and best of luck with your exams.
So students, to use Lwazi, it's very easy. All you need to do is you go visit any of the exam pages. You'll notice there's this big, have an exam question. And here you can ask any question that you perhaps need answering. Even if you, for instance, have exams anxiety or you need assistance with time management, you can even ask that to Lwazi as well. So please make use of Lwazi for any quick support. Remember to always, if it's something critical, to still refer to the official support channels, but Lwazi is there to support you with any additional questions that you might have. Then lastly, I just want to emphasize again, please make use of the myExams guides. That's where we update the information, any changes that happen as well. Work through the lessons, do the mock exams, and that will really assist you with preparing for your exams. Once you've got the tools done, set up, you really can just focus on your study material, because in the end, that is the most important aspect that you need to learn. So I'll have a look at the the quiz responses. I'm just going to leave on the screen as well, and I'll post in the chat as well the evaluation for this workshop. We will send this to you afterwards as well. If you, after the exams, when we're done with the workshops, so you can complete the evaluation right now for us, just so that we know in areas that we can improve in the future. And I'll leave this up while we have a look at how many quiz attempts we have received.
Thank you so much, Richard. Our lovely students, we're giving you more opportunity to complete the quiz so that everyone walks out here a winner. So I'm going to skip the competition winners slot so that at least we give others a chance who have not yet attempted the quiz. I'm going to give over to our Sophie Mabaso, our sign language interpreter, to be the one sharing information with us. Don't forget to enter this competition. When we leave here, you can be the winner. Our Sophie. Is our Sophie in? Let me check. Alex, it looks
she
like
might have left, but she was just doing the sign language during the training this afternoon. So we just want to say a big thank you to her for always jumping in and always being able to do sign language for those students who need it. So we really do appreciate that.
Thank you so much, David. And we also thank our Sophie. Now, while students are still catching up with the competition, should I give over to our leader, Dr. Chetty, to give us our closing motivation? And after that, we can announce the winners so that we leave here excited.
Thank you so much, Program Director. Good afternoon, students and colleagues. Once again, thank you very much for being with us to these almost 3.5 hours. It's been a full-packed session, and I'm sure that many of you found whatever we presented today useful as you start preparing for the examinations. So as we wrap up today's session, I would personally want to say thank you to our dedicated facilitators who have provided some of the invaluable guidance and support throughout this 2.5 hours. We are really grateful for your expertise and commitment to making this possible, and your dedication over the past semester as well and into the semester as well. I think for all our students, we really encourage you to take what you've learned today, the skills that you've learned. Firstly, apply it in your own spaces. Look at the mock exams that the colleagues have mentioned, and look at how you can apply your invigilation apps, your tools, before you enter the examination. Now, this is critical because, as mentioned previously, when you do understand how the technology works, you enter the examination with much more ease. So we will encourage you to apply those skills, get comfortable with it so that you don't worry about the technology skills, which will pose a challenge for you in the examination. You are much more comfortable. I should actually also say that in the past years, majority of the students who attended this training ended up performing much better in terms of the examination because they were able to enter the examination confident with the technology skills that they needed. So we really encourage you firstly to apply these skills, but we also want to encourage you to share the knowledge that you've learned, the invitation with those students who may not necessarily have known about the training. And I'm actually that's important for us that you actually get the word out, because the more students we have attending these trainings, the more competency that we can build across the university to empower our students. Also, a note of appreciation to our program director, Professor Mpashlele, who did an excellent job today. We appreciate her time as well and the coordination of this project, of the program for today. And once again, we wish you all the best of luck with your upcoming exams. I think what we can say from our side is stay confident and focused. You've come so far. This is just the last part of the year for you. So sit down, do your best with the upcoming examinations, and remember that you have a UNISA team behind you. We are here to support you and provide you all the competencies that you need. So please do feel free, even on the chats, even post-event as well. Please continue engaging on the chat itself, because that's one way for us to actually see what challenges you have and how in the next session we can build up the competencies needed, and where we might need to include more data in the training to help you with the upcoming examinations. From my side, thank you, and let's look forward to a successful exam and period ahead, that we can celebrate the closure of the year with just success as well. Thank you, Professor Mpashile. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chetty. This is our leader, colleagues and students, and this was mostly his vision to see you students supported the way you are supported, and together as colleagues, we are supporting most of his vision and his good leadership. So let's give him a round of applause, because we are here always because he spent sleepless nights going out there, making those collaborations. That is why we even have people from Invigilator app coming here, presenting directly to us without hearing it secondhand. You hear it firsthand because of him. Here are the winners. Let's clap hands for them. I hope, Bushe, you still here. I hope, Mujaji, you still here. I hope, Shyness, you still here. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, David, for ensuring that our winners are here on the chat, on the screen. And tomorrow, we're going to get more winners. And tomorrow, you might be the winner. And with that, allow me to declare this session officially closed. And if you still have questions, even after this session, post them in the chat. We will still be able to respond to you. Have a nice evening. Thank you.